What's up, everybody? This is LeauxFI from Internet Money. Just want to go ahead and show you guys one of the things I love to do with samples lately. I've been doing this for a little while now. You'll hear it in a lot of my beats where I flip my samples a certain way that you're starting to hear a little bit more in that Toronto OVO sound. I'm using an older Tory Lanez song as an example. It's one of my favorites from him. I'll just go ahead and play a preview.
That girl is, oh yeah, she the one. Make a nigga wanna get into some fun with you tonight, Would you like that, shawty? Oh, you like that? I know you would. I know you would. She live in Toronto.
Alright, so I love the way they flipped the sample here. That would be Tory and a producer named Tim Curry. I do this a lot. What they did is flip the sample backwards. And the sample, whether you recognize it, I've already stretched it out for the purpose of time in the video. Right, so it's the Brandy Boy Is Mine sample. What they did is they basically chopped up that intro I played before and they flipped it backwards. But of course there's an issue run into sometimes with samples when you flip them backwards, is that if they have a long or a complex or layered melody, or even one with chord progressions like this one has, backwards it sounds like shit. So what they did is not only they flip it backwards, but they also cut it again and then resequenced it so it sounds better. So if they were to just flip it on its own, it would sound like, and that shit don't sound right to start on this note. So they started towards the middle by chopping here. I've done that over that way. Around here. And also, I know this might not sound completely like the Tory Lanez sample here. And that's because I have not fixed the pitch yet. What I like to do, since I sample in the windows here, is that when I stretch a sample, I like to bring the pitch back to normal. So even though FL Studio and all the other programs want to compensate for pitch and time by making the pitch lower, what I do is I just right click on pitch and hit reset. So what that does is it tries its hardest to bring the pitch back to normal even though you stretch the time out. So then you get something just like what they did here, and it sounds like, and all together.
Around and picked her up and brought her to my designer girl.
So I highly advise everyone listening to try flipping samples backwards and playing with the melodies a bit backwards to see what you can come up with. I actually always do that now. Whenever I get a sample I like, the first thing I do is flip it backwards and then play it through just to see if I can find a new melody instead. And that's just one of the things I definitely love to do with the new Toronto and OVO sound and how everybody's putting their own twist on it. And this is another example where on one of the beats I've done recently, one of my favorites, I took a sample and flipped it backwards just because I thought it sounded better, and the result was pretty enjoyable to me. So I'll just play you what the sample sounded like normally. So to me, that's just a basic melody. It's cool, but there's no life in it, no bounce. It's just there. So I wanted to flip it backwards, of course. Like I said before, I always try that out to see if that breathes new life into the sample. And backwards, it sounds like... And I find that to be much better. So I didn't want to use the melody as it is, because just like I mentioned before, sometimes the melodies just don't work backwards. You have to splice them together a bit. So I actually took this first section and I spliced it into the third section to get a melody that rises and then falls. And that's the part that I looped. So altogether it sounded like... And the beat, I thought came out much better for it, much more interesting, and it sounded like this. Alright, so this has been LeauxFI for Internet Money. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.